All right, it has automatically started recording somewhere. That's exciting. So welcome to our empowerment call for August the 1st of 2018. And this is the call for the tri-region, the multi-regions of the region, the Erminsky region, and the Tomlinson region. And the first call of every month, we do a get started call. I'm going to just quick here. We're muting everybody's muted. Just give me a second here. All right. All right, there we go. So there is a couple of different documents that I'm going to refer to. I'm not going to spend a ton of time telling you where to find them. So make sure to check with your sponsor. But the two main documents, there is a how to start a new consultant, which is for the trainer. That's on our Facebook group. And there's the action plan, which is on carlitanelson.com. Those are the two things you need. And what we're going to do here is the how to start a new consultant is a really comprehensive guide. And we are going to start on step 3, which is the business plan meeting, or the business meeting that we would have in person or on Zoom with you one-on-one. So if you are new to Arbonne, this is perfect for you, whether you've got your action plan or not. And if you're not new to Arbonne, this is perfect for you, because we all need to be really up to date on this, because knowledge is power. And the more confident we feel on getting people started, the more confident we feel on introducing people to the business. So generally what we'd have is someone come into the business plan meeting with their action plan, and they would have done their whys. You'd have your 100-person list, which you will have qualified. It's okay if you don't know what that is. We will teach you about that. And you'll have your schedule with you so that we can help you show how Arbonne works in your life. And we want you to understand that the most important thing is for you to get started strong. And everyone in Arbonne who's training you wants you to get started strong and is excited for you. And the very first thing that you want to do is have a welcome call with your RVP. If you're in Arbonne and you're new and you haven't done that, then be sure to check with your sponsor and get that organized. If your sponsor isn't super connected, please reach out to us. I promise you, none of us are scary, and we would just love to talk to you. And it's so important. We want to welcome you, just tell you how excited we are. And we want you to feel so comfortable to reach out to us anytime you need. And it feels a lot more comfortable to reach out with a question if you've talked to somebody already. So welcome call with your regional vice president is the number one thing. And then you're coming to this business meeting. So if we were sitting down having a detox tea, or we were doing this over Zoom with our snacks, then the thing that we want to impart to you, and I want to impart to you more than anything, is well done. Way to go for deciding to do this Arbonne thing. And the thing that is amazing, there's so many things that are amazing about Arbonne, but you have decided to do something which a lot of people actually desperately want to do. They want all of the things that Arbonne can deliver, but they're not willing to do what Arbonne takes. They're not willing to be different. They're not willing to step out their comfort zone. And the person who is attracted to Arbonne, and the person who says yes, which is you, you're special, you're unique, and you are made for more, which is why you said yes to this. So I am so proud of you, and I'm so excited for us because we get to work with you. So welcome, and let's get really down to business. Oh, there was this quote that everybody shared, and I think it's worth mentioning, which is one of the very successful men in Arbonne, and there are many successful men in Arbonne. Bassam Bossau likes to say that with Arbonne, the sky is not the limit. And there is no way that we can explain to you how true that statement is, because every time I think my vision is big enough, something else comes along and I realize it's not big enough. There is nothing you can't do with this. There is no dream, no vision, no desire that you can have that you cannot accomplish with Arbonne. So just bear that in mind and know that I see more than you're going to see just getting started. And our National Vice President, Tammy Higginbotham, is going to see more because she's been doing this longer. And her direct sponsor, one of the top income earners in the company, Carlita Nelson, sees more because she's been doing it longer. And that is the beauty, that you get to directly train with all of these people. You know, Carlita pours into us, Tammy pours into us. And that is not the way things work in corporate. So you are in very, very good hands. The other thing is that I'm really going to encourage you to plug in, and we're going to be talking about that, but to stretch your vision. And one of the best ways to do that is going to success.arbonne.com and reading success stories, because you want to be prepared, not with the exact story of, oh, I knew a nurse practitioner, I read about her, and you're a nurse practitioner, so you're going to be great. But just knowing that every walk of life, there isn't a profession, there isn't a personality type that is ideal for Arbonne. You can be successful whoever you are. And when you read those stories, you realize that there are no prerequisites. This is completely achievable for any single person. And that just, you'll read those stories, and then you'll find that nuggets come out. So read those, listen to trainings, and really plug into what is possible with this. And that's our job. Our job is to show you what is possible. So expectations. Let's talk about expectations, because you always have those when you start a new journey, when you start a new job. You know, what is this going to be like? What am I supposed to do? We don't have a big, thick guidebook we're going to give you. We're going to walk you through it. It's very straightforward. So you are welcome, an independent consultant with Arbonne International. You have an ID number, and if you choose, you can have the best titles in the world within a business setting with Arbonne. And the beautiful thing about being an independent consultant is that you are completely in charge of how you run your business and how successful you choose to be. And the best thing about Arbonne, being an independent consultant, is you are never, ever, ever by yourself. You have a team of people who are always here. Like I said, we want you to reach out to the VPs because we are here to teach and train you. And so it's your own business, but you're never on your own in this business. And that is the beautiful thing. So I want you to know that. And I've said all of that already. Okay, so in Arbonne, you are going to have ups and downs. It's like, if you choose, you can go on the most spectacular roller coaster ride of your life with Arbonne. You know, anything that you want, there is not a roller coaster ride out there that is more exciting and more dramatic than Arbonne. And I'm going to respectfully ask you not to do that. Go to amusement parks for your roller coasters. Don't do it in your Arbonne business, because it's just not smart business, right? And what I want you to think about is that every time you go to Target or you go to a department store and somebody checks your order and charges you and does the whole thing, and then they say to you, hey, would you want a store credit card? And you say, no, thanks. They don't go into the depths of despair and the world isn't over, right? They just say, okay, who's next in line? And that is very much what Arbonne is about. So if you emotionally invest in this in the wrong way, this is what can happen. Imagine you get your calendar booked and you start sharing Arbonne with people. And in one weekend, you take your whole Saturday and you drive 45 minutes, an hour away, and you show up at an event and you're so excited to share Arbonne, and nobody's home. The host isn't home, there's no guests. And you say, bummer, but that's okay, because I actually have another event in the same town in a couple of hours. So I'll go grab a coffee. I'll hang out with the host who I met these people through. And then you go to the next party and nobody's home and there are no guests. That happened to me before I was a district manager. And if I was on that emotional roller coaster, guys, I would have got off. I would have like, this doesn't work. Arbonne doesn't work. This is obviously, I made a couple dollars, got some products, but this isn't going to happen for me. Right? And then if I had gotten off that roller coaster, I wouldn't be still in my Arbonne business, and I wouldn't get to hear amazing stories like someone say to me, thank you so much for introducing me to these products. I feel for the first time in my life like my body and I are on the same page. I don't feel like I'm fighting with my body anymore. Or thank you so much for choosing to do Arbonne, because me and my family have choices that we didn't know were possible. And because you stuck it out with Arbonne, my family, X number of years later, now has choices. So there is a place and a time for putting your heart and soul into Arbonne. When it comes to business decisions, don't ride the roller coaster. That's not where you use your emotions. Pour into people. Don't pour into people saying yes or no to this business. That's their decision. It's not your stuff. So just don't do that. Key factors. So we have expectations. You're independent, but you're completely supported. There are ups and downs. We're not going to buy into that emotional roller coaster. We're going to keep our heart for people. And there are 3 key factors that you want to know about. One is growth. Personal growth. Personal growth is one of those things that you cannot understand why this is part of Arbonne, right? It's that the willingness to be able to keep to keep learning, to be a lifelong learner, to be coachable. Someone told my son last night, my son did a really scary thing that he's been scared about for weeks, and he did a tryout for a new swim team, a really prestigious swim team. And there were something like 5 or 6 spots, and they were trying out kids for 4 days. He got a spot, and we're really proud of him. But the thing that I'm proudest about is that the coach said that, he gave Maxwell a correction in the water, and Maxwell took it and kept it. And he said, "You're coachable." And I said to Maxwell, "Look, that is the most important thing, is being coachable. And personal growth is being coachable for yourself, because you are your best coach. You are with yourself all the time. So you coach you, and we will help you. But if you aren't willing to coach yourself, if you're not willing to read books, to plug in, to listen to podcasts, then anything we say is going to fall on deaf ears." And here's the thing, whether you do or you don't, we know. And it's not because we're in charge. Because your business grows as your personal growth grows. So if you do personal growth, it will eventually show up in your business. And if you don't, it will eventually show up in your business. And here's the best part, is personal growth doesn't just show up in your Arbonne business. It shows up in all of your relationships. It shows up in your volunteering. It shows up in your parenting. It shows up in the type of person that you are with the general public. It is an amazing thing. So personal growth is huge. And when you do that, it makes it so much easier to contribute to others, because that's the second key factor, is contributing to others. Now, here's the thing. If you don't grow and stretch yourself, it's very hard to contribute to others and be a strong leader or a humble leader or a vulnerable leader, because you're asking somebody to do something you haven't done, right? So you have to go ahead, you have to mark the path, and then you can bring people along with you. And contributing to others is the absolute best thing you can do. Minding your mind and teaching self-talk, and then you start to hear it in other people. Things that sound acceptable in the outside non-Arbonne world are not acceptable to us. So things which sound positive, we realize are safe, and we really encourage you to think bigger and have that vision. And that's because of the personal growth, and that's how you contribute to other people. That was loud, wasn't it? And then the last thing is staying power. Staying power. Now, if we go back to that staying power thing, right? Because I stayed connected when that poopy day happened to me, and there was a whole lot of other bad stuff happening then, guys. And I had those 2 non-existent parties happen. Because I had staying power from all of these things, I stayed my course, right? So you stay connected. Stay connected. If you hear nothing else from this call, stay connected. If I could take you and love you and just look you in that eyes, I would say stay connected. It is the thing that has kept my business going. And it's not a time for my journey, but my journey has been one of a lot of personal ups and downs. And I have always been on the calls. Always, 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 always. From crazy places, I have been on the calls. I have stayed connected. So the fact that you're listening to this, whether live or the recording, shows us that you are doing that you are making the time for your business. You're making the time for yourself, because don't ever forget that making the time for your business is making time for yourself, right? It's keeping a promise to yourself. So there are the monthly meetings. If you're within a 1 or 2 hour drive, get to that meeting. If you are not within a 1 or 2 hour drive, find a meeting, or better yet, start a meeting. Start a meeting. We started. It was me and Marie Tomlinson in Rochester. Now there's not me or Marie Tomlinson in Rochester, but there's still a meeting that we started. So think about that. That's a fun thing. The Wednesday night calls, it's an hour and a half on Wednesday nights or Thursday mornings if you're in Australia. If you're not able to get on live, that's okay. This thing called an earbud, just put it in one ear, do not do both ears, and play it while you're driving. You don't need to watch this. You just need to listen to it. And then the major events. So there's the Global Training Conference in the spring in Las Vegas. There are the Impact Tour trainings, which are coming up swiftly now. I think, in fact, some of them have started this month. And those are for both people in Canada and the US. Then there are retreats throughout the year. Get to those. We've heard about that recently. And then in the international markets, we have AAC in Australia and CNTC in Canada. And there are GTC-like events in every one of our countries. So you want to get to those. So the first, stay connected. The second, stay consistent. Stay consistent. Learn a new skill, right? How do you learn a new skill? You do a little bit at a time consistently, right? So I'm going to make this all about me again. We just moved to Canada. In a month, 2 of my kids are going to start school. One of them will be in French school almost consistently all day. The other will be in school for French half of the day. So should we start doing some French now every day, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour? We could play them some French TV. We take them out in the city. They listen to us speak French. We show them signs, an hour or 2 a day. Or should we just sit them down every Sunday and do 10 hours? 10 hours of French. Only speak to them in French, full immersion for 1 day. They'll need a whole week to recover, and then we'll do it again. No, that's not how it works. That's not how our brains work. It's not how you learn a skill. It just sounds painful, like you're going to need recovery time. It just doesn't work. We know it from training our bodies. We know it from learning any kind of skill, a little bit at a time. And the beauty of social marketing, and the thing that is almost you almost can't understand it, is small amounts of time consistently equal more than that same amount of time infrequently. You can do less time consistently and have better results than somebody who pours in more time infrequently. So a little bit at a time. Arbonne Hygiene, just stick with being consistent. Figure out what's going to work for you. Your trainer's going to help you with that, and stick with it. And then stay the course. Just stay the course, right? Like, don't take the quitting thing off the table. Because why would you quit Arbonne on any level? Because the worst case scenario, you have this amazing discount on these fabulous products. The best case scenario is you have a life-changing opportunity that can change your entire family for generations and generations. And more importantly, a whole lot of other people's lives. So, that between me and the gorgeous executive area manager, Jessica Barrios, there are 2 consultants who have fallen off. And it literally makes me sick to my stomach. Like, my stomach gets in knots when I think about it, that they walked away from Arbonne for $15 a year, right? Oh, no. See, anybody can RVP. I'm not sure if that's the current renewal. It's $35 now, isn't it? And darn it, guys, I would have paid that for them to keep them in Arbonne, and just remember that the only way to be successful in Arbonne and the only way to fail is to stay or to quit. The top income earner in Arbonne, Cecilia Stoll, I've heard her say this, and it's hysterical. She would say, I'm not going to do her Brazilian accent. I'm not going to do it to you. But she says, they told me if you just plug in and follow the system, you'll be successful. It always works. If you follow the system, it always works. And she said, and guys, I really thought they would say, if you follow the system, it always works. Except for this one woman from Brazil. It didn't work for her. That's what she thought. And now she's the top income earner in Arbonne. And she has an amazing story. Go to successstories.arbonne.com and read her story. She's phenomenal. So, okay. So now what we would do, again, if we were in person, is I would say, tell me your whys. Why Arbonne? Why did you say yes to this? What made you step outside of your comfort zone and say, I want to do this? Or what made you literally see that this was the answer, right? This was what you were looking for. So you need to know what those are. You need to have written down what those are so that you know, and you need to share them with your sponsor and with your upline, because this is where, remember that emotional roller coaster? This is where I want you to invest your emotion. This is where I want you to plug that in, because this is the thing that keeps you going. Because knowing someone's whys enables us to lead you. And remember, I said we're not your boss. So we're not going to call you tomorrow. I'm not going to call someone on my team and say, I need to talk to you about your business. This is just not up to par. This is just not, no. If I'm going to call you about something on those lines, it's going to be something like, hey, I just wanted to have a real heart-to-heart with you, because I know that we really talked about you being serious about your Arbonne business, because you want to be able to retire your husband who's working 80 hours a week so he can spend more time with your kids. And I know that your timeline was to become a regional vice president by September, so you could be making that $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And I'm just looking at your numbers and you're not on track for that. Has something shifted, or are you still wanting to push for that? Because if that's the case, I want to sit down and I really want to goal set with you so we can get back on that track. Okay, that's why we need to know your whys, because it enables us to help you. And it enables us to figure out if the plan that we have for you is going to help you get those whys and the timeline that you want. Okay. And then when we talk about kind of like what Arbonne looks like, because now it's kind of like, I've said all these really exciting things and it sounds really positive, and you're like, I don't really know still what doing this Arbonne thing is. So doing Arbonne is loving the products and sharing those fabulous products and the amazing business opportunity with 40 people a month. Just do that, 40 people a month. And the way that you're going to do that is we are going to train you, and we're going to train you really well. And I am going to encourage you to think that just like any job or any school scenario, there's that period of intense learning at the beginning. And I'm going to encourage you to give us a month. Give us a month to be in full Arbonne land, Arbonne activity. And then you can reevaluate at the end of the month. If you know that for you, you need to go a bit slower, we'll figure that out. But if you can really try to give us that month to get that 40 faces in, then you'll know how to do this business. You'll be have such expertise at the end of that. So our work week in Arbonne is 10 to 15 hours a week. And that's where you share in those 10 to 15 hours with those 40 people. And if you are thinking, how am I going to fit this in? I'm in school full time, or I'm working full time, or I'm, caring for someone full time, then we will help you figure it out. Doing the 10 to 15 hours is up to you and where you fit it in. And what that breaks down to is sharing that Arbonne story with those 40 people, which is sharing your story, which will teach you. There's a great worksheet on carlitanelson.com. Sharing the Arbonne story and the Arbonne background, sharing the Arbonne business and those amazing products, and then asking people to be a part of Arbonne. And there's lots of ways for people to be a part. And when you share with those 40 people consistently, you'll end up doing the Arbonne building block, which is $2,500 in sales. So $2,500 in retail sales. So that's before any discount. And when we talk about that, when we train on that, that is not something that Arbonne requires from you. They don't require that from you. That is our system. Remember talking about plugging into the system, that when people plug into consistently, we see people have the average promotions of becoming a district manager, which is our first promotion, in 1 to 3 months or maybe 6 months, or becoming the next promotion level, which is the area manager, in 6 to 12 months. An area manager is when you're making that $1,000 to $5,000 a month. And so we know if someone is doing that 2,500 and the 40 faces, talking to 40 people, that's how we can help you achieve those goals. And what does that look like? So 40 faces a month and the $2,500 in sales generally breaks down to selling about 8 Arbonne Special Value Packs, ASVPs, the 30 Days to Healthy Living, the RE9 skincare. And how do we do that? So how do we do that? That sounds good, right? Like I'm going to talk to 40 people, but I don't even know where to start. So you're going to start with that 100-person list. So on your action plan, you've got a 100-person list. So you're going to take those 100 people, you're going to qualify them, and then we're going to teach you to use something called the funnel method to talk to all of those people. And there's a great training on the YouTube channel, the multi-region channel, Why Lead with the Business. I would encourage you to watch. That's going to help you go through that. And then you're going to take your calendar, because before you call or talk to those 100 people, you need to know what you're talking to them about and when you can speak with them one-on-one. So you're going to book into your calendar 5 take-a-look Zooms of 1 hour. And you're going to talk to your regional vice president and book times that she is available. And they're going to be for about 30 minutes, not an hour. That would be too long, 30 minutes. And then you're going to book 6 to 10 3-hour time slots to do presentations. And guys, you can do those Saturday morning at 10 and another one at 1 o'clock. You can do one Sunday afternoon. You can fit them in. We'll help you fit them into your calendar. A 1-hour block, different 1-hour blocks for one-on-one. So I would say figure out, you're going to do your take-a-look Zooms first. You want to do those in your first week. So you want to do those this week, 30 minutes, 5 slots. Then your 6 to 10 3-hour presentations. 2 of those are going to be personal presentations. I call those, they're your life jacket ones. They're your backup, okay? You are going to mainly be booking presentations with other people and then using those as a backup. And then you're going to fit in one-on-one time slots to meet individually with people. And then you're going to block in your Wednesday night calls, because these are crucial. So those go into your calendar, and whatever your local meeting is, that goes into your calendar. Okay, so the verbiage for asking, I'm super quick, share my screen, share. I'm on 2 devices here, so I know it's working. Okay, so this is that action plan. I just think it's helpful for you to see it. Start with people's dreams, desires, and discontents. Guys, you know these. The people on your 100-person list, you already know what these are. You know the person who is desperate to get out of their work situation, the person who is desperate to have more time with their family, the person who is really unhappy with their life, their life situation. You know what these are. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to do those 5 take a looks, and you're going to talk to people on your 100-person list. And this is great verbiage. And here's the thing, when I started, I hated verbiage, and I thought, I'm comfortable talking to people. I don't need this. But here's the thing, I'm comfortable talking to people. I need this, because otherwise I just over talk and I tell them way too many things, and it's just too complicated. So I met a woman last night. I can already tell you from spending 20 minutes with her, because I've been trained in Arbonne now to know what her dreams, discontents, and desires are. So hey, Megan, it was so awesome to talk to you last night. And I wanted to reach out because, as you know, I have my own health and wellness business, or I recently started my own health and wellness business with Arbonne. We have the best botanically based, plant-based, nutritional skincare cosmetics. And I really am excited about doing this because, as you know, one of my kiddos has special needs, and I just need to be available for his therapies, but I need to be also earning an income, and Arbonne's going to let me do that. And I really wanted to reach out to you because I know that you have some really big health challenges coming up, and I can't help but think, not only would these products be amazing for you, because I know you need to be doing vegan products, but I also know that you need to be earning an income while you're recovering, and you would be so good at this. Or, hey, you know what, Ashley, I was just really wanted to talk to you about this new Arbonne thing I'm doing, because I know that you are studying at college what you absolutely love, but I also know that you were just saying, you are having to take out so much in student loans. I would love to show you how to share these products that you're already using, right? You're already using your protein shakes, and make an income and not have to take out those student loans. Or, hey, I'm really excited about this Arbonne business that I'm doing, and I'm really wanted to talk to you because I know that my dad lost half of his pension. And I know you were saying the other day that you're really anxious about retirement and you don't quite know what your pension's going to provide. You could do this Arbonne. I mean, good products, and you are so authentic, and you could share with people. You're a person of influence, and this could be the answer to those anxieties about your retirement. Okay. So that's kind of some basic verbiage. Practice this with people, with your upline, with your trainers. You want to be really comfortable with it. Now, people are going to say yes, and you're going to get things booked. People are also going to say no. There's different objections, and your trainers will help you go through those. If they say no to taking a look at the business, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I completely get it, Megan. I know that with your surgery coming up, you've got a lot of stuff on your plate. I still cannot wait to have you share these products. Why don't we grab a couple of your girlfriends around the kitchen table, and I'll bring the shakes and I'll bring the fizz, and we can just sample everything, and you can get some awesome deals, right? And then you're going to go through with the verbiage. And if they say no to that, this is where that life preserver, that life jacket event comes in. You're going to say, oh my goodness, I completely get it. You always empathize with people. This is Arbonne. This is not some life-threatening thing. This is an exciting thing. You're excited to share because you're so emotionally invested in your whys and what their whys are. So then you're going to say, oh my goodness, I completely get it. No worries. I'm having a couple of girls over. I'm having a couple of people over to have a play in the products next week. Are you free Thursday night? And if they say no, hey, a couple of weeks, you're going to go to your next one, which is why we say book one of those backup events in the first week, and then book another one, say 3 weeks out. From there, if they say no, do you see this? This is this funnel. You're going to go on to the one-on-one. You're going to set up to do a really informal, oh my gosh, I'll just drop off some stuff and we'll just look at them real quick. Then you can do a formal product sampling with someone, where you drop off samples for them. And lastly, you're going to ask for a referral. Now, here's the thing I want you to see about all of these is that in each of these cases, what you're doing is you're just going back up the funnel. So when you get a referral and you get samples to that person, that enables you to go back up to the top of the funnel and ask them about the business and ask them about products, et cetera, et cetera. Ask them about hosting. So that is the basics. I'm really aware of the time and we're just about done. One thing I want you to hear when we're booking events is that pencil in dates. For Zooms, pencil in dates. People will say, oh, I'm not sure. I need to check with this, or I don't know if my friends are going to be available. Say, completely get it. Let's do this. I know right now you think Tuesday at 5 is the best time for you. Let's just pencil that in real quick. I'll check back with you tomorrow. I'll shoot you a text. If it doesn't work, no worries. We'll find another time. Hey, I know that you said that this would be the best time for you. And of course, you want to check with your girlfriends. You have the most amazing group of friends. But I know that you said this is the best for you. Let's book this now. We'll just pencil it in. They may not all be able to come. And if it doesn't work out, we'll schedule a different time. 90% of the time, whatever you pencil in will stick. And the remaining 10%, because you've penciled something in, you're just rebooking. That's a much easier conversation to have. So the last two things, get the app Voxer. It's fantastic. It is the best way for us to communicate. You get a group together with your trainers. You can ask really easy questions. And the most important thing is we can hear your tone of voice. Because if you leave a Voxer that says something like, well, okay, so I ran across this situation and already oh, that sounds challenging. That in a text or a DM, it can be harder to puzzle out, and it just takes us more time to be able to get you the answer you need. So Voxer is the way to go. And sometimes you can even just use Voxer and say, oh, you had that question? Here's my trainer answering it. You can just listen to this. It's fantastic. So get Voxer. And get onto Facebook. I'm sure you're on Facebook. We'll add you to the multi-region team. That is our group. Please invest in that group, share in that group, ask questions, share your success stories, everything you can in that group. There's some files there as well. And then the Higginbotham Nation page is where we introduce all the new consultants. It's the overarching page. And then I think, yes, and then let us know if we can post a welcome to Arbonne on your own personal Facebook, because we love to welcome you in and to just generate that excitement. So that is our time for tonight. We need to hop off, and I want to encourage you to get on to the next two parts of our evening. So the next one is the Discover Arbonne Live, which is on Facebook. Hop over to that. And then we're going to get onto the United Nations call, which is another Zoom. And if you don't have the number, I wrote it down and now I can't find it. So somebody could post it in the comments for me. Seriously, I wrote it in bright green pen. Now I can't find it. But it's Carlita's Zoom number, and you'll want to get onto that in half an hour from now. Thanks, and have a great evening, guys.